Calvin Castine on Groundhog Day at the VFW Post 1418 on what I used to always refer to as the Twin Bridges, and I assume it's still known as the Twin Bridges area, just off Route 11, the Veterans Memorial Highway on the St. John's Road, and barely in the town of Champlain, right on the Town Line Road. And we're here because every community has its share of people that are unsung heroes, people that work behind the scenes and don't always get the credit that maybe they have coming to them. And these three gentlemen here have decided that we have a man like that in our community. Without people like that working for our churches, our fire departments, our rescue squads, our youth groups, and our veterans and civic organizations, we don't really have a community. And we're here today to pay a little bit of respect to a man that many of you out there will know, Mr. Willard Martin. And I know are you all going to speak today, or?
Not me.
No, you're not going to speak today? Well, you're going to have to speak the most now as we're... I'll let you all introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into why we're here.
I'm Bernard Perry from Chazy.
I'm Steve Bowman, the commander of the American Legion in Chazy.
Don Miller, Plattsburgh, a member of this post.
Okay. Who wants to tell me how this all started?
Sure.
Don, you go ahead.
All right.
Okay, well, I forget when it was, but it was before Christmas, near December 1st. We were down the Legion for either a meeting or maybe we were just having pizza that night or something. And we just sort of started talking how much Willard has done throughout the year. And then we hatched a plan. Well, why don't we let the community know about this fellow that he does these things, but he won't stand in the limelight at all. He doesn't even like applause for anything or awards. That's the type of guy he is. And I says, he's done so much, I think we ought to get together and do something. So we said, all right, let's pick a date. We picked February 2nd.
Yep.
And so we said, well, we'll leave it go after the holidays, and then around the first week in January, we'll get something cooked up, and this is what we've come up, made tickets, and called his friends, if you would. So that's about all what it is. But it's a good thing we called because he was home sleeping in his chair. Bernie just called him. And so he was supposed to come up for what?
Yeah, he was originally told that he was coming up for a surprise birthday party for my wife, so...
he was going to miss it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was.
But Bernie called and got him up and said, get his butt up here, so he's on his way.
He's on his way, so he doesn't know about this at all.
No,
Not
he
that we
doesn't.
know of. Now, he might be jerking us around, Bernie said,
Yeah,
right, Bernie?
he might be playing with us, yeah. It's very possible because he can do that sometime.
Yeah, and you don't know it either.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If he knew about it, he'd probably be giving you some grief ahead of time, probably.
I'm sure
Yes.
we'll get grief.
Knowing him, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
So I don't know, we're expecting 75, and a lot of people called and said they were going to come, so we got some tickets at the door. But I believe we planned with the caterer 75 to 80, and they're good. That goes 10 either way. So
Okay.
if we have too much food, we'll sell you a dinner to take home.
There you go.
You get your dinner ready.
Bernie, how did you come across? You recall the first time you ever met Willard Martin? Probably as a kid?
No, I'm not from Chazy. I'm from Plattsburgh. But I met up Willard through the VFW and American Legion. I belonged to the Plattsburgh Post, both the Legion and the VFW, and he talked me into transferring up here to 1418, and then he got me involved in the Legion. I mean, really involved in the Legion. Got active. I've been a member for 49 years, and he, I later on, well, I did some things in Plattsburgh, but mostly just was a member, And he just got me active in both posts, and I mean, he can do that to a guy. He can talk you into most anything.
And you're still willing to honor him today, even though he did all that.
Oh yeah, he did all that dirt to me. I'm still, yeah, right.
Now, obviously, 49 years, you got in at a very young age, then.
Well, I got out of service. I was 20. I went in when I was 17. And went to Korea, and I got out at 20 and got married, and here I am.
49 years later.
Yeah.
Steve?
I met Willard back in 1991 when I was come back to this area in mid-tour from an assignment in Korea. And I'd come up here to the VFW with Bernie, and he introduced me to Willard, and they signed me up for membership here at the post right away that day. So I've known him since then. So he's been a very good friend.
And again, behind the scenes, here's a couple guys he got active in there that nobody knows about, but you guys wouldn't be here probably without him prodding.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's very true.
Don?
He used skullduggery to get me up in this post. I've only lived in the North Country 12 years, and I retired up here. So being in West Shazy, I went down to the post office, and I just asked him, where's the post? I want to get my transfer from the VFW down in Poughkeepsie up to here. And he says, well, I can take care of that. I says, well, okay. So took all the numbers and everything for the transfer. So I get it, and it's 1418 in Champlain, when there's one right down in Beekman, you see? So he's always looking for membership, and he grabbed me right up. But at first I was hesitant, because I don't know if these guys ever been with him, but the first year my wife said, that postmaster's about the most miserable man I've ever seen in my life. He says, he never smiles, and you go in there, you feel like you're in pain. And I said, well, I don't know him that well either, honey, but we'll see. But I'll tell you, you get to know him when you come up here. Yeah. He's a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah, sure is.
He may not smile much, but he's brought a lot of smiles to a lot of other people, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
Sure has.
Yeah. Both in the American Legion and the VFW. He's active, very active in both. Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else before we get the show on the road?
No, that's about it. We'll be saying some more up there, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for putting this on. He's a very deserving recipient of this honor.
Well, I'm so glad you could come. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I said they put out pictures.
Were you on a sleep marathon? I knew it! He was on a sleep marathon.
Bernie Perry.
I know. We were on the way down to get you. We give you 5 minutes, and that was it.
We're getting a wonder if you were going to make it here. He said he doesn't know as much as he knows. It's like people can't blame you had a better team. Just remember the time. I said, but if you need to go back, you gotta jump out.
I think we'd like to say a few words for the next couple hours or so. Needless to say, I want to thank everybody for coming. The boys did a real good job of getting tickets out right in front of his nose at the meeting. You always remember that? And he said, I didn't see nothing going on at the meeting. I said, well, you don't see everything goes on at the meeting anyway. So then down the Legion, the same thing. He kept wondering why I kept asking Bernie Perry to come around the back room and see how construction was going. But anyway, it went really well. And with the weather we've had, I'm really thankful for the crowd that we do have. A lot of people called me and apologized that they couldn't be here. And I had some calls, said, why'd you send me a ticket? I wouldn't be here come hell or high water. There's some, no matter which way you go, there's always some. Last December, I don't know, we just, was something we had done. And this is not a military function. This is the Friends of Willard Martin. And me, Steve, and Bernie Perry, we started talking. It's about time we honored this man for everything he's done. Sit down, Steve. And we, next day, I think we hit on a date. Groundhog Day, we picked it today. And we said we started selling tickets. In January we did, and everything went off like clockwork. And that's, hey Bernie, would you stand up please? That's Bernie Perry. Yeah. Steve Coleman. All right there. And myself. There you go. But anything, that's about the way it went, and we were proud that you fellas kept it away from him. And I did get one letter I'd like to read. Willard, I am unable to be with you today. I wanted in some way to participate, honoring your service to our town in the Northern Tier. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be asked to give my testimony to you. I cannot begin to list all the thoughtful work and help you have given willingly to so many people who do not realize your contributions to the health and welfare of this area, but I can address some of the things that I am familiar with. It was your efforts that kept the Boy Scout troops in Chazy operating and available to young men of our town. Your dedication to the American Legion Post 769 of Chazy has kept it an accountable community organization. You are responsible for our Legion's Post growth and activities, keeping it an active organization for our town's veterans. The same can be same can be said for your tireless interest and work for the veterans of War and Wars Post 1418. As you may know, I was on the Chazy Board of Fire Commissioners for 50 years and chairman of the board for 39 years. I was blessed to have you, Willard, as the secretary and treasurer during my term. Your abilities and knowledge and your unselfish dedication to the board helped to make the fire district one of the best in the country, if not in the state. If every board or organization in this town, county, state, or even the nation had officers on their boards with the dedication and your knowledge, we would all greatly benefit. Willard, it was an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to work with you through the years. You have given us unselfishly to our community and nation, and I extend to you the best wishes for the future. Well done, good and faithful servant. With best regards and appreciation, Melvin Matt McCooney. Matt wanted to come, but he's going through dialysis and wasn't healthy, and I sort of felt bad asking him. But I asked him that I didn't want to sell him a ticket, but would he have write me a letter? And he did. I was very happy about that. You know, I messed around with Willard quite a bit. I had a joke with him at the meeting. But since I've been up here, we managed to, well, almost friends, probably good buddies. No, he's my friend. You know, he was thinking one day how tough it was when he was a kid. And he started reminiscing, so I put these thoughts down in my mind. He says, you know, even this morning, he says, it's been a rough day. He says, I got up, put on my shirt, and a button fell off. He says, I picked up my briefcase, and the handle fell off. He says, damn, Don, I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. He, like I say, he had a little rough right from the start. His parents weren't too happy having him. And then when he come out, the doctor came out to the waiting room and said to his father, I did everything I could, but he pulled through anyway. When he was born, the doctor looked at his face as he come out, turned him over, looked at the face again, he said, my God, we got twins. The picture his father carries around was the one of the kid that came with the wallet. He said even his mother, she didn't have morning sickness till after he was born. I remember the time, he says, I was kidnapped. And they sent a piece of my finger to my father. He called him and said he wanted more proof. You go outside and play in the sandbox and the cat would cover him up. Yeah, a little tough as a kid. I guess I got him crying from laughing already. I have a habit of doing that. You know, his parents, he felt they always wanted to get rid of him. I said, why? He says, well, his bath toys was a plugged-in radio and toaster. Once, they were in a big mall, or a big department store in those days, and he got lost. Couldn't find his parents anyplace. So he went up to the police officer. He says, officer, I'm lost. Could you help me find my parents? So he told him who they were. So about 2 hours later, they walked around. They couldn't find his parents anyplace. They says, officer, do you think we'll ever find my parents? The officer said, I don't know, son. This is a big place. They got so many places to hide. He went to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist told me he's going crazy. He said, well, I'm going to get a second opinion. He said, I'll give you one. You're ugly, too. His wife bought him a membership to join a bridge club. He jumps off next Tuesday. This year actually happened, and it was hysterical to a lot of us. Sam's Club, if you know, have a card, it went up to $30 this year. It used to be $15 per ticket. However, what they extended on that ticket is that you could have 2 tickets by putting your spouse on. So basically, they're getting more tickets, but more people also, but $30. So it's still $15 a piece. The woman says he's not going to pay them $30, goes, nothing. No, I'm not going to do it. Well, once he looked into it, he found out. He says, well, we have so many at the VFW. So he got the tickets, and he come up and give me one at the meeting, right? And he says, by the way, you're on as my spouse. I says, excuse me? He says, you are my significant other. You know, folks, I always knew there's something the matter with him. Because every time I kiss him, he giggles. Well, enough of that. I think it's time we get a little serious here. Willard Martin has been a great veterans man, which you'll hear more about later on. But there are many people that have no idea of other things he has accomplished in his community. He served as Scoutmaster, Scout Coordinator, and Committee Member of the local Boy Scout troop for over 19 years. A member of the Chazy Lions Club for 16 plus years. He worked on several of their community activities, including old home days, turkey raffles, etc. He's also active in the Chazy American Legion post. He helped organize and plan and directed annual Memorial Day parades in Chazy for over 15 years and is still heavily involved in them. He set up and operated a booth at the old home days for the Boy Scout troops for over 9 years. From 1992 to 95, he planned and organized scouting for food programs in Chazy, including scouts around to deliver bags for people to put donations of food in. How come page 3 only gets for page 4? The following Saturday. You must have organized my papers, Will. The following Saturday, he took the Boy Scouts out to collect the bags. Each program took 5 hours or more and deliver the bags also. And 8 hours plus to collect and sort food items from the local food shelf. He helped the Scouts in 5 major project raises, which consisted of setting up areas of responsibility, inventorying items, consolidating orders, sorting and delivering them the items purchased. These fundraisers covered a period of 4 to 5 Saturdays, which took 7 to 9 hours on each day. The largest amount that raised was just over $2,000, which took, catch this, and sales exceeding $6,000. So we really had those scouts go. He served as master of ceremonies at several Eagle Scout courts of honor, and at the 20th and 25th anniversary parties at Post 1418. Up to this year, he has been the treasurer of the Shazy Fire Department since 1981. Can you imagine, 22 years, keeping the books and billing, page after page of numerous reports. In 1997, he organized the Sons of the VFW Unit 868 and supervised 2 meetings a month for 7 years. He arranged for the unit to camp out right here on our grounds for 1 or 2 weeks at a time. He set up the programs from the camp out, which included reveille at 5:30 a.m., followed by the raising of the flag, work projects in the morning, then fun and games, including formal retreat ceremonies. Each day with the unit members conducting all aspects of the ceremony. Campfires and storytelling each evening, trips to the Montreal baseball games several times. He helped the unit arrange periodic dances and chaperone. The unit also participated in 4 to 6 parades a year. One year, they participated in the Apple Festival in Hemsford, Connecticut, guests of the Royal Canadian Legion, a parade in the VFW Department of Vermont Convention, entered the unit in the National Rifle Association competition for 4 years. During his term as quartermaster of the Post 1418, the books have been audited by New York State on 2 occasions. He maintained a complete and accurate accounting of all the finances and of the post as well as property, and assured that all required reports, water tests, etc., financial, were completed and filed accurately on time. And he continues to work with the new quartermaster as assistant quartermaster. You know, we look back, and I got to look at this way, Bill. I'm about done here. You know, when you got audited, it gave you a lot of time to perfect being in prison for 4 years after the books were examined again. So, at this time, I'm sure on books, if you know him, I'm saying not commander of the Legion, but a good friend, Steve Bowman.
That's going to be kind of a hard act to follow a little bit with Don, but I'm going to talk about some of the history of what Willard has done for the veterans themselves here in Clinton County. Willard joined the VFW in 1971 and the American Legion in 1974. His eligibility was based on receiving the Vietnam Campaign Medal with 4 Bronze Stars. Going through the chairs, he became the commander of the post 1418 in 74 and continued as commander for 3 consecutive years. He held the office of chaplain for the Champlain County Council and was then elected commander in 1976, which resulted in the rise of VFW Post 8793 in Ellenburg and the reveille of Post 124 on the airbase. In 1980, Willard was elected to the position of quartermaster for VFW Post 1418 and held that office until last year when the membership finally voted to replace him with Samantha Roberts. You can kind of draw your own conclusions to that. During his tenure, Willard earned honors as All-State Quartermaster on several occasions. He also served as a service officer for the VFW Post from 1977 until 1990. During this time, he was also very active in the American Legion Post 769 at Shazy. In '79, Willard distinguished himself by helping a veteran of World War II and World War I in getting his pension reinstated. Over the ensuing years, he gave assistance to veterans' widows in applying for and receiving earned benefits. He also helped a veteran paralyzed from a major stroke to arrange and clarify financial problems, attend medical appointments at the VA clinic in Elizabethtown and the VA hospital in Albany by driving them there in his own vehicle. VFW Post 1418 had several veterans who were confined to wheelchairs, and Willard would ensure that they were at post functions by personally going and picking them up, which required him to lift the gentlemen from their chairs into the seat of his truck, put their wheelchairs in the back of his truck, and reverse the process when he got them up here for a meeting or a function. And then he would help them by taking them home that night. Years ago, Willard arranged for the wife of a quadriplegic veteran to visit her husband at the VA hospital in Albany for 2 consecutive days over Christmas by obtaining transportation, room reservations, and money to cover the expenses. He also made numerous trips to visit veterans in the Albany VA hospital. Through the years, Willard has assisted many local veterans, their spouses and families in many different ways. He has helped many with their tax returns and VA income reports. He assisted a widow of a vet in settling an estate and notifying all required agencies to obtain the documents necessary to support the claim. During this time, Willard was elected to the position of commander for the American Legion post in Shazy. Willard was a staunch supporter of the Voice of Democracy program for the VFW, Boy Scouts, Boy State, and oratorical contests for the American Legion. When the American Legion Post 769 and the VFW Post 1418 got together to purchase the handicapped-equipped bus, Willard was at the point, and ultimately was key in getting the bus painted and lettered through the BOSI school. As you can see, Willard is a veteran's veteran. This is just just a few of the examples of what Willard has actually done. But anytime a vet has a question or a problem, Willard normally has the answer and has some way to help that veteran out. In year 2002, Willard was recognized as a Clinton County Legionnaire of the Year. I respect Willard for all that he has done for not only the veterans of the North Country, but for the people of the North Country. And I am proud to say that Willard is my friend.
Wow, hey, Shorty, here we go. Sitting by chance in that there corner, that'd be one of them. Keep one corner of my eye on you. Okay, we got a couple of short men, like, and ladies, to say a few words. That's a great pleasure. A friend and a comrade. I'd like to introduce Art Maggie. I just changed When he kissed you, did he giggle?
Willard, I just want to say, after listening to what Steve said that you've done for the veterans, your military career, seeing that Daryl Mayo and I are on the draft board, we'd have a hell of a time deferring you one more time. Willard, as was said, you're a veteran's veteran, you're a veteran's advocate, you're a community individual, you never turn anybody down in a time of need. You're just a great individual, and I commend you for what you've done for not only your community, but for the veterans and your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Art. That was nice and short. And hang on to your shorts for the next one. I'd like to introduce Gerald Mayo, a friend and comrade.
First of all, I'd like to thank the VFW for extending this opportunity to me to say a few words about Willard Martin. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. It was a few years ago that I had a little situation that I didn't know quite how to handle. And he said, why don't you give Willard Martin a call? And I said, who the name is Willard Martin? They said, well, he's active up at the VFW. And you know, that was the best phone call, and it was one of the best short meetings that I had. He gave me the right advice. And Willard, thank you. You have helped many of veterans. You have brought the American Legion and the VFW into one group whereby we can now honor the departed in the proper way. I don't know if anybody of all you people know that, but Willard was instrumental in that. I think along with Leon, I'm not sure, but I think the two of them. But Willard, thank you for that. You know, it's hard to really emulate, if you will, all his accomplishments that have been spoken this afternoon. Willard, I know you are an outstanding VFW man, American Legion. You are an outstanding veteran, but most of all, you're one super gentleman, and that I thank you for. I have not too much more to say, but I was told a little story about Willard. He was in the second grade, and the teacher came and told him that he had to have show and tell. So Willard went home and he says, what am I going to do? But he had a pet turtle named John. He says, I know what I'll do. He says, I'll bring the pet turtle John to school. So on his way to school, he had John on a leash, and John got away, got into the road. Big truck came and hit John. Oh boy, Willard said, now what am I going to do? So he got in class, and the teacher said, okay, Willard, it's your turn for show and tell. Well, he said, teacher, he says, I really don't know. He says, I brought John, my pet turtle, to school, had him on a leash, and he got away from me, and he got into the road, and a big Mack truck hit him right in the ass. The teacher says, you can't say that. You got to say rectum. Rectum, hell, you killed him. So Willard, it's on behalf of the members of the American Legion, we have a few of them here. We want to say thank you for all the help that you gave us, and we're there to help you if we can in any way. And congratulations to the VFW for honoring a super gentleman. Thank you.
Another one of these tall guys. Thank you, Gary. You know, they always like to say something about when you were a kid. It's a good thing you were born a boy, Willard. At least you had something to play with. You know, he's not quartermaster this year, and probably won't be again. For years, he wanted to give it up, but he hung right in there and did it every year. And finally, we had somebody, remember, that was interested in being quartermaster. The only thing that really bugged him that she was a woman. However, I'm only kidding. They work so well together, and he is still assistant quartermaster. I'm sure she would like something to say. I'd like to introduce Samantha.
I know I hold the title of quartermaster, but I don't believe in my heart that I feel that I'm the quartermaster. I am the assistant quartermaster, and as long as Willard is here, I will always be the assistant quartermaster. quartermaster. I've had the grace of knowing Willard now almost a little over a year. My father's known him a lot longer from what I've found out, and so is my family. I would say that one of the best things of coming home was the friendship that I have with Willard. When I came to the VFW, I was very scared about being here. I was very scared about being a member because I didn't feel that I could give enough for what I was supposed to do as a veteran. I didn't think I had the time, and I didn't think I had the patience, and I didn't think I had the knowledge. Willard talked me into becoming the quartermaster due to my credentials. I'll never say I'm sorry that I did, because I have had the chance in the last year to learn more from this man than I learned in any school on anything that I've ever learned in a county. The man is unbelievable. He knows questions that you'll never find in a book, you'll never find an answer to unless you've been in the situation yourself. And for that part, I'm glad to be his student, and I always will be. I will never be the quartermaster. I will always be the assistant. So for me, everything goes to Willard. He's the reason I'm here. I stay here and I do what I do. And he's the reason I learn every day. And hopefully one of these days, maybe I'll be half as good and be able to answer half as many questions as this gentleman can. I've seen people fire questions at him left, right, and center, and he always has an answer. No matter what you ask him, on a personal basis, on a military basis, on a veterans basis, he always knows the answers. He's great. He's awesome. He is awesome. And I'm glad to be his friend, and I'm glad that he's accepted me as a friend, and that he's helped me to be where I am. And I appreciate him for that.
Thank you, Sam. Very nice. A new member amongst us, what, for 2 years now, Sam? She's really latched into the post, and all of us appreciate it. Now, I guess that about winds it up. I could ask Willard to say something. But I'm afraid of what it might be.
You know, I thought I had some friends, but I found out who the true friends are today. I was supposed to be up here for a birthday party for a young lady, and I didn't feel much like getting up here, coming up here today, so I didn't come up. I got a phone call, rather demanding that I be here. After speaking to my wife, she says, Bernie Perry's on the phone, he wants to talk to you now. Let's come on up here. I said, I didn't really feel like it, but you told me you'd be up here, I want you up here. You know, it's Gail's birthday. So, up here and see all these cards. Well, maybe Bob's got passed in the trash or something. I waited for Mrs. Chapman to pull out so I could face the park. Walking in, something didn't look right. To see Bernie there, he was all dressed up with a tie on. So I was sitting back here, stay in the back to see what's going on. Bob comes over and he says, we've got tickets for the function this afternoon. So we got the ticket right here. I just sat down right there. No tie, no coat. Very, very leisurely, you know. So I apologize for not some of the expectations. I would like to thank everybody that took the time to come out this afternoon. I tried to do the best I can with what capabilities I have. But I've met some excellent and some outstanding people, communities across the board, Champlain, Ward, Ellenburg, right straight through the north tier. Since I came home from service. Well, I feel what I've done is very, very little compared to what some other people have talked about. The gentleman was in the American Legion of the hospital every week. He's John, I can't remember his last name. John Beagle. But one of the things that still picking on me here. Your turn is coming, sir. You're not going to be my significant other anymore. Sam, we got a phone call coming in the morning. But anyway, one of the best things I ever saw happen in this northern area in the last 30 years was the cooperation and the working together between the American Legions and the VFW. I remember back in 1971, 72, there was sort of a, I don't know, like a very between the two organizations. And it shouldn't have been. We were all veterans. We all served our country. Whether we served it under conditions that qualified with membership in one organization or the other is immaterial. The main factor is we served our country. And as Gerald said, we've had occasions now when we have a military funeral. I feel very proud of the organizations that go out, members of the organization. We have 16 to 20 some people turn out for a military funeral to show due respect to this person that served this country and at least his services being acknowledged. The other activities, some of them I didn't even remember actually. I don't know where you got them. I'm talking to some people. But I would like to say one final thing. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon. It was a tremendous surprise. Bernie, you got yours coming. Brad, Steve, no problem, but I knew you were let into it. Don Miller. Well, easy now. The things are, they say that the chickens come home to roost eventually. Watch out.
And what I'd like to do now, if I may, is to certainly have you stay a little while. We have Serge here. He's an excellent entertainer. He's not going to twang you to death or anything else. He didn't lose his horse. He still found his saddle, his pickup truck, all his. So he's got all kinds of music, folks. And he's a tremendous entertainer. Now he's going to be here for a couple, 3 hours, so stick around and dance. Enjoy it a little bit. Sunday afternoon, that's why we had it early. So you can't tell me, well, I gotta get home. So please enjoy yourself. He says, Bill says, if you get hungry, we won't have any food for you. Now you guys, please, hang around. He's a tremendous entertainer. I've never met the gentleman before, but I've heard he's very good. So thank you, folks, for responding to us like you did. If you haven't talked to Willard, don't be afraid. Come right up to the table and shake his hand and talk to him a little bit. Thanks a lot now. Hope you have a good time.